And good afternoon, everybody. Chris Bartell here from the Cascade Pacific Council with today's weekly webinar. We do this every Wednesday at noon. And so today we're actually going to dive into just the latest news around the CPC, around the Cascade Pacific Council, as well as talk about some upcoming webinars. It's been really, really fun chatting with a whole ton of our volunteers out there, most of which actually recently taught a course at our University of Scouting. So we have some super awesome webinars coming up here. But today we're just going to give you the lowdown as to what those webinars are going to be and give you some of the latest news from around the council. So it'll be really fun. Should be short and sweet, but it should be good stuff. So pay attention here. And for those of you who don't know, we actually do these every week at Wednesdays at noon, just about every week of the year, except for certain vacation times and holidays and things like that. But you basically get the latest news. And actually what's great is you get to tune in, whether here live on Facebook or through our Zoom link that you receive in emails on Thursdays. If you're in the Cascade Pacific Council and are on our newsletter list, you receive those on Thursdays, so you get the link to that. But also we have the recordings on our website too. So we actually have the video recordings and the audio recordings, which is kind of nice, or at least I hope so anyway. All right, let's dive in here. We have some of the latest news. I wanted to, before we dive into that, just thank you folks, you volunteers, you scouts out there, because a whole bunch of you just did a wonderful, wonderful thing with Veterans Day and just supporting our veterans. And so just wanted to just give a shout out and just say thanks to all of you who went out and whether it was bearing the crazy weather and raising flags and cheering on and just celebrating our veterans. Just wanted to thank you for that. That was really, really fun to see the pictures on Facebook. You can see a few of them here for those of you who are watching. And it was really just really fantastic to see. And so thanks to all of you scouts who braved the weather and really just celebrate our veterans. Really, thanks a lot for that. All right, next up here, I wanted to let you know that you can always text pictures to me. Actually, you can, for those of you who are watching, you can actually scan this QR code and it'll launch a text message to send me any pictures. I'd love to see more. I'd love to share more pictures about all the great things that scouts like you are doing around the Cascade Pacific Council and beyond. Fun to share those pictures, whether it's outings and adventures, or actually celebrating our veterans, or doing scouting for food, or any of those things that we'll be talking about here shortly. And just love to share those with everybody, because it's such a great opportunity to share. And I'll share with you in a moment another opportunity we have to actually spread the word. So give me a second on that. We'll go through a couple of these and we'll dive into that. All right, back to the latest news. First of all, weekend horse rides. We have those available for the whole family. So, and for units, of course, as well. We have if you didn't know this, we have the largest herd of horses of any council in the Boy Scouts of America. Pretty incredible, pretty impressive. And they're right now all at Butte Creek, and you can go check them out. It's just super fun to see, to meet the wranglers and meet the team out there, ride the horses. So it's all at Butte Creek Scout Ranch. And this actually happens really in 2 seasons of the year, but right now we're focused on the fall winter time. And so you can schedule a full day or half day ride. Half days are $60, full days are $120, and it's on Saturdays and Sundays. And right now you can schedule those through the 19th of December. And so just so you know, when you do this, we want to let you know that you have to pack your own lunch. Make sure you wear some sturdy pants like jeans and closed-toed shoes, and be prepared for the weather. Make sure you check the weather before you arrive, and try to arrive a little bit early. Plus, it's fun. You can arrive a little bit early and just get the lay of the land. It's really, really a beautiful venue if you've not been to Butte Creek Scout Ranch. And you can also see all of the new campsites that have been built after the wildfires burned everything down. So we had some amazing support from all of you from our Camp for All campaign last year, and it supported the rebuilding of Butte Creek Scout Ranch. So check that out. Next up, reservations are now open for Cub Scout camping at Butte Creek Scout Ranch, speaking of which, and also for Webelos, so for those older Cub Scouts, a really fantastic opportunity to camp at Camp Baldwin. What we're trying to do is create a really great transitional experience where those older Cub Scouts actually get to go do some aquatics and really do some of those bigger outdoorsy activities that they'll actually get to do in Scouts BSA. So check it out. We call it Baldwin Base Camp. So check that out on the website. You can actually go to adventures and you'll see Scout camps, and you'll see Cub Scout camps. It says Webelos there, and you'll click on that, and then you'll go to the page for the Baldwin Base Camp. Super, super fun. We also have weekend camping going on, of course, whenever we're not doing summer camps. So check that out too. And coming soon, we will have opportunities to join us for Super Weekend for Cub Scouts. And for those of you who are in Scouts BSA and have done Super Weekend in the past, I know it's been a while, seems like a while anyway. I know it has for our troops, seems like a while. And it is an awesome opportunity to get out there and just really experience camp and do some awesome, fun adventures at our camps. So keep an eye out for that. We'll let you know, but keep an eye out for that. This is a really great opportunity. And also, of course, for summer camp, Camp Baldwin, Meriwether, Pioneer, High Adventure Camps, all those things are available for Scouts BSA, the older Scouts and whatnot. And family camping will have reservations open at the beginning of the year, or actually probably around March 1st for family camping opportunities at Camp Clark. So keep an eye open for all those opportunities. A couple other things before we go into some deadlines and some events that are coming up is, this is what I was sort of teasing before, is you can send text your pictures and videos and things like that to me. Or here's another interesting opportunity, because we would love it to have every single unit out there, every single Scout unit, build a public Facebook page or an Instagram feed. Really, Facebook is really the best way we've seen so far, but some units are having some great success with Instagram too. Those who are really into photography and things like that. So anyway, we highly recommend actually creating a public facing Facebook page and working with your Scouts and parents and seeing what everybody's okay with sharing, whether it's certain types of photography, certain angles and things like that. But it is such a fantastic opportunity to promote your Scout unit and just share what you're doing with your people in your community. And what's really great is, I know that can feel like one more thing that you have to do, but I find it's really fun to be able to share that, and people love seeing it. But here's what's neat. You can actually, once you build that page, or for those of you who already have a page, you can connect with us at cpcbsa.org/marketing. On that page is a little how-to video on how to connect your public Facebook group page or your Instagram feed to us, allowing us to post to it. And what we'll post there is really generic kinds of, but fun, outdoorsy motivational quotes and outdoor tips and some video clips and photos and things that are, I wouldn't say generic, they're really fun and on brand, if you will. They'll just share the adventures and things, but generic in terms of not focused specifically on a unit, but they're really talking about the awesome things that we get to do in Scouts. And what's neat is that we will then have the call to action. The action we'll ask people to take is actually to message you, your Scout unit, on that social media platform about how they can learn more. And so, for example, you can see here this little quote version here that just says, it's a little image. It says, "Don't just tell children about the world, show them," a quote by Penny Whitehouse. And so we would have just a little bit of information about scouting there, and just kind of share the experience of that, and then ask folks to message you, your Scout unit, for more information. So check that out at cpcbsa.org/marketing. It's something we've been testing and have quite a few units, a couple dozen units actually have signed up already for this. And so we're just doing a one post a week right now. We'll add probably 2 posts a week, but what's really great is it'll keep your feed fresh. So for those of you who may have a Facebook page up, but you haven't updated it for a while, just connect it to us. And you do have to do it as an admin. All the directions are there at cpcbsa.org/marketing. But hey, it'll allow us to keep those pages fresh at least once a week, maybe twice a week. So check that out. Also, speaking of opportunities for your Scout unit, we do have this opportunity, and we're still trying to get enough units signed up. So for those of you, thank you so much for being patient. For those of you who signed up early, we are really wanting to get 100 units signed up for this, because this is another great opportunity for us to help you create a unit website. And so it's based on the platform called Wix, kind of like Squarespace, like WordPress, things like that. Super, super simple to create a website. You would have your own custom domain name and for your Scout unit and things like that, but you got to pre-register. So pre-register at cpcbsa.org/marketing. You can have a link there to register, to pre-register. Once we have enough units signed up, we will say go, and then you'll all get a promo code. You'll actually get to sign up for real at a discount. And that's really what the deal is. It's just ends up being about $7 a month or $84 a year. So it's really a good deal for promoting your Scout unit and just telling your story and being able to get people to see what you're all about, especially if they're not on Facebook or social media. So really neat opportunity to talk about your story there. Okay. Now, upcoming deadlines that are happening around the CPC here. A couple things. Save the date. Now, this may seem like a long ways off in some regards. Wood Badge, September 13th through 17th, just an incredible opportunity for adults to really grow and in their understanding of scouting and becoming a better leader. And it turns out it's just a great opportunity to learn more leadership skills that you can use anywhere, which is fantastic. And we're actually going to hear more about that in an upcoming webinar. I'll just tease that right now, but we'll have more on that. We'll have a crew come in and share with you and with me, because I have not done Wood Badge yet, full disclosure. So it sounds like just a fantastic opportunity for growth. So I'm going to join it next year. I'm already signed up. So I want you to join me and join the rest of the crew. It's going to be great at cpcbsa.org/woodbadge. Also, now again, this may seem like a longer ways away, but we have World Jamboree and National Jamboree. For those of you who have not been in Scouts long, we call it Jambo for short. And so World Jambo and National Jambo are happening in 2023. World Jamboree is happening in Korea. It is where Scouts from all over the world, tens of thousands of Scouts from all over the world, will converge, and they will just have an incredible scouting experience. The last time it happened here in the United States, and it was really fantastic. My son went and had an amazing time. So check that out at 2023 WSJKorea.org. That's 2023 WSJKorea.org. And I'm saying these URLs and things like that because we have an audio version of these webinars too. So people listening can kind of type that in as they're listening. So also National Jamboree is at the Summit Bechtel Reserve, and it is an incredible opportunity. Go to jamboree.scouting.org. You see photos and images, graphics, all the adventures that are going to happen there, or cpcbsa.org/jamboree. You can get the information there about the local unit that will be attending Jamboree nationally. So check that out. Okay, a couple other things. This Saturday, the Order of the Arrow is having a service project coming up. It is a planting project at Biltmore Woods near St. John's Bridge. It's at 9:30 a.m. You can see that at cpcbsa.org/OA. Just a great opportunity. And the Order of the Arrow is really our National Honor Society. They do tons of service projects. So really a great opportunity to see the OA in action. Also, December 4th is Walk and Knock and typically scouting for food. So this is our food drive. A lot of different councils all over the United States do scouting for food. The Walk and Knock is exclusively in Washington and works with a whole variety of organizations like the Boy Scouts of America, like us in the Cascade Pacific Council. And this year, instead of actually walking and knocking on doors and asking for food donations, it's actually going to be drop-off oriented. So you can check that out at walkandknock.org for the latest on that. Also, we're asking this year, there are some units who are still going to do scouting for food. You can actually do a food drive anytime you want. You could do it any time of the year. What we're going to do is we're changing this up a bit. However, our main focus for scouting for food, at the request of actually the food banks, is to help them in springtime. So we are launching spring scouting for food. So it's going to be the first weekend of March 2022. This will be the first kickoff of it. And the reason is because after talking to dozens of the food pantries and the partners out there, the food banks that we work with, that all of you Scout units work with, they said, we really need help in spring. That's when we really need to be replenished. So anyway, so that's what we're actually going to be launching. We'll have more on that. We'll have some support around that and some marketing, of course, and some tools and things like that, flyers and whatnot. So keep an eye out for that. Just put that in your calendar. This is new, but it's such a great opportunity. And again, you can all still do any kind of food drive really any time of the year, especially for those of you who are working with a local church or a local food bank. I mean, just any time of the year is a great opportunity to serve and spread the good word about what scouting is doing out there. So anyway, we'll have more information on that for spring scouting for food later on. Also, other opportunities to serve. December 4th is the Seaside Beach Cleanup. So for those of you who are not doing scouting for food or the Walk and Knock, great opportunity, fun opportunity to go to the beach and at Seaside and do the cleanup there. Also on December 18th, for those of you in the sort of Portland metropolitan area, there's a forest park ivy removal project with Solve. You can find out more about that and tons of other opportunities at solveoregon.org. And check that out. There's just tons of just really, really interesting opportunities for those of you in the Oregon side of the Cascade Pacific Council. Also, in December and January on Wednesdays is the College of Youth Leadership. There's a whole series of training sessions, awesome training for youth leaders who are growing up in scouting to become better leaders in their scout unit. So it's going to be opportunities to learn more about the patrol method and unit planning, how to work with younger kids, how to work with conflict and all of that. It's really just a really awesome opportunity to really advance and grow in your leadership skills. So for those of you who have scouts that are 14, 15, 16 years old, I'd recommend signing them up because it's really just a great opportunity to take these classes and learn more and grow as a leader. And of course, as we know in scouting, it's not just for now, it's for all their entire life. So this is what's great. All these skills, these soft skills, these hard skills we learn, they're really great for career and life, we like to say. So this is one of those opportunities to really learn some skills that will help them in their career, or if they head off to college or whatever's next after scouting. It's just some great tools and skills to learn. So check that out at cpcbsa.org/CYL. Okay, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, the upcoming webinars. I just wanted to let you know this. We're getting these all scheduled. It's been kind of awesome and really kind of crazy to see all of the awesome opportunities we have to share. That our volunteers have offered up to share with you their wisdom about all the things that they have learned and grown in their scouting careers, so to speak. So it's really, really interesting. So next week, we are actually going to focus on sea scouting. This is going to be awesome. You can actually see the link on Facebook for how to sign up for this. We'll also send the links via email tomorrow for those of you in the Cascade Pacific Council. And you can also see it on our calendar as well at cpcbsa.org/calendar. But next week, we're going to focus on sea scouting. Then we're going to have a really great interesting conversation. This is actually a second version of this conversation that we actually had earlier last year about empathy and communications in scouting. This sort of fits into that youth leadership opportunity we were talking about before, but it's also for adults too, to really talk about how can we be more empathetic? How do we communicate better with our scouts and with other leaders and with other people? So it's a really great growth opportunity for one and all. So we're going to talk about that on December 1st. December 8th, we're going to actually talk about Eagle Scout scholarships. So for those of you who are on the edge there, who are working toward that finish line, tune in. We're going to be able to ask questions about Eagle Scout scholarships. There are tons of them. We have them here locally. There are some nationally as well. So you're going to want to tune in because we'll have all of the how-tos for all of that on December 8th at noon. Now, of course, you'll have the recordings of these too, so you can check that out. We'll create a blog post for each one of these, and you'll be able to listen to it. We'll have links on those blog posts and all of that. Also, these are just some great webinars. I'm super excited, and you can always remember that text thing I sent earlier. You can actually text me photos and things like that. If you have ideas that you want to share, or if you are a volunteer that really wants to share your passion for scouting or your passion for whatever it is, the skills you want to teach, just text me. We'll figure out a time to have you do a webinar too. That'd be great. But other upcoming webinars are, why the heck do we do scouting? That's going to be a great one. It's going to be an awesome opportunity to hear about, really to hone in on why we do what we do. It's just, I know when we're in a scout unit and we're doing stuff locally, sometimes it's easy to forget that this is a huge movement, and it's such a great opportunity to share like why we do what we do, and to see the growth in kids, and to see it not just locally at our unit level, but oh my gosh, throughout the council, throughout the counties, throughout the state, throughout the country and the world. So as we talk about World Scouting, we're doing this all over the world. So it's pretty awesome. We're also going to talk about backcountry hygiene and backpacking. We're going to talk about fostering pack volunteers. Super great one. I'm super excited about that because it's sometimes difficult to how do you really guide somebody to becoming a volunteer? We got to spread the wealth in terms of the opportunities to serve in our scout unit. So that's going to be great too. We're going to talk about inclusivity in scouting. It's going to be awesome how to be inclusive in all of our scouting endeavors. We're going to talk about leave no trace, super awesome and important to teach the kids about that and actually adults too. All of us need to know about leave no trace and how we can actually leave a place better than we found it. That's one of our mantras and manifestos. I know that with our scout unit, for instance, we've been hammering on the outdoor code because it's been one of those that we maybe have not been so good at teaching. So we're honing in on that. We're going to talk about a how-to on Scoutbook. That's going to be huge. If you have not logged into Scoutbook, there are such great tools there for Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA. Really awesome opportunities to just learn about advancement, how-to guides, things like that. And it seems like it is always growing and evolving. So that app, if you will, is really fantastic. We're also going to talk about the patrol method and we're going to talk about unit financing, how to do that. We're going to talk about wood badge, as I mentioned before. So just some fantastic opportunities to learn more about scouting. So there's the teaser. And so we'll have these all scheduled. You'll see these on the cpcbsa.org/calendar. You'll see those there here shortly as we get them all scheduled out. The link actually is always the same, so you can actually tune in and get that live on our calendar. You can get it live on our Facebook page as well, as you can see, for those of you who are tuning in there on Facebook. So you can get those there, and it's going to be great. We'll also send these links, of course, via email for those of you in the Cascade Pacific Council who are on our email newsletter. You'll get those on Thursdays too. So don't forget, next week, we're going to talk about adventure on the high seas with Sea Scouts. It's a great opportunity to learn more about, we're going to have the Sea Scout crew come in and just share why Sea Scouts. This is a really fantastic opportunity to learn about another part of scouting that many of us don't know about. And it's just such a great, it's an interesting opportunity, very unique. So we're going to hear all about that next week. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. That is all I have today. Kind of a quick update, kind of a quick round table, if you will, a mini round table as to all of the, okay, round table is a thing that we do. For those of you who are listening or kind of new, it's usually a monthly meetings and things like that called round table. So anyway, so this was a roundabout for all the things that are coming down the pipe. I hope you enjoy that. We will, of course, again, we'll have these all via email as well. So just keep an eye out for that. Make sure that it's not going into your spam filter, because you just want to get all the links and deadlines and things. Super important, especially for all these opportunities, whether it's camping or horse treks, things like that, because the deadlines are looming for some of these things. So check that out. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. Hope you are having a fantastic week. We're heading into Thanksgiving week. Super grateful. We in the CPC, we are just so grateful for all that you do as volunteers, as scouts, and serving the communities, and just doing all that you do to see these kids grow in scouting and grow and mature in their own lives. And so thank you so much for all that you do for scouts and scouting and our communities. Have yourself a great, fantastic rest of your week, and we will chat with you next time.